Okay, so let's dive into a story about a promise that honestly sounded a little too good to be true. Back in the early 2010s, with gas prices going through the roof, two car companies came out with a magic number, 40 miles per gallon. And boy, did it work. For a while. But that promise, it was about to unravel into one of the biggest automotive scandals of the decade. I mean, you remember that time, right? Gas prices were just brutal, and every trip to the pump felt painful. So when Hyundai and Kia came along with this message of incredible fuel efficiency, it wasn't just another car ad. It really resonated with people. They weren't just selling a car, they were selling relief, a solution to a huge financial headache for millions of us. So, how did this incredible success story turn into one of the largest consumer deception cases in recent history? How did a brand that seemed to have its finger on the pulse of what people needed end up in so much trouble? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. It's a classic story, really, about how one little number can make or break a reputation. All right, first things first. To really get why this was such a huge deal, we need to talk about why that simple little acronym, MPG, carries so much weight. For most of us, MPG is pretty simple, right? A bigger number means you spend less on gas, period. It saves you money. But for the car companies, it's a whole lot more complicated. It's a critical part of complying with the Clean Air Act. It's all about hitting those greenhouse gas emission targets. So that one number on the window sticker, it's where your wallet meets federal law. But what happens when that number, the one you base your entire purchase on, isn't actually real? Well, this is where our story takes a very, very sharp turn. So, after months of drivers scratching their heads and a growing wave of complaints, the other shoe finally dropped. In November of 2012, Hyundai and Kia had to come clean. They publicly admitted that, yeah, the amazing fuel economy numbers they'd been advertising on a whole bunch of their cars, they just weren't accurate. And we're not talking about a rounding error here. Take a look at the numbers. Sure, for some models, the difference was maybe 1 or 2 miles per gallon. You'd notice that, but okay. But for a car like the Kia Soul, they were off by as much as 6 mpg. Think about that for a second. Over the thousands and thousands of miles you drive a car, 6 miles per gallon adds up to a ton of extra money spent on gas you thought you were saving. So the big question is, how does a mistake like this even happen? Well, the companies called it procedural errors in their Korean labs. They pointed to a specific test called a coast-down test, which basically measures things like wind resistance and friction to calculate efficiency. But investigators found something that looked a lot less like an accident. Instead of using the average results from all their tests, which is what you're supposed to do, it looked like they were cherry-picking the best, most favorable results. It might seem like a small thing, but it was enough to paint a completely false picture of how efficient these cars really were. So, if this was all happening behind the scenes in a testing lab, how did anyone find out? How did the truth actually come to light? Well, it actually started with everyday people. You had drivers all over the country saying, hey, wait a minute, my car is not getting the mileage it's supposed to. Those complaints snowballed, getting the attention of a group called Consumer Watchdog. They formally asked the EPA to step in, and that's when things got serious. The EPA ran its own audits, and what do you know? They confirmed the discrepancies. At that point, with the feds validating what consumers were saying all along, Hyundai and Kia were cornered. They had to fess up. Okay, so the truth is out. Now comes the fallout. And believe me, the cost of this deception was absolutely massive. We're talking about a financial hit that went deep into the hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's just let this number sink in for a second. 1.2 million. That's how many cars were sold to people with those bogus fuel economy labels on the window. And the impact wasn't just financial. From an environmental standpoint, it was a huge deal. The EPA calculated that all those cars would pump out an extra 4.75 million metric tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. That's a massive amount of pollution that, on paper, wasn't supposed to exist. Next up, the government penalties. For breaking the Clean Air Act, the two companies were hit with a $100 million civil penalty. And to give you some perspective, at the time, that was the biggest fine of its kind ever. But wait, there's more. They also had to give up something called greenhouse gas credits. These are basically valuable credits automakers earn for being more efficient than required, and they can be worth a lot of money. Well, Hyundai and Kia had to forfeit credits valued at over $200 million. And of course, they had to make it right with their customers. A massive class action lawsuit resulted in a settlement of around $395 million, all aimed at paying back the owners for the extra gas they had to buy.
So if you just add up the government penalties, the civil fine, and the forfeited credits, you're looking at a bill of more than $300 million. I mean, you can't get a clearer message from regulators than that.
But this story is about more than just big, scary numbers. The real question is what happened next? What was the aftermath? And what did the rest of the industry learn from all this?
To their credit, they did try to manage the fallout. First came the public apology and the reimbursement programs for all those affected owners. But more importantly, they agreed to some serious internal changes. They had to set up a totally independent group just to oversee their fuel testing, and they had to agree to future audits to make sure their numbers were accurate going forward. The goal was to build a system where this couldn't happen again. And the impact of this case created ripples across the entire industry. First, it was about holding Hyundai and Kia accountable for what they did. But second, it set a huge precedent. The EPA basically sent a warning shot to every other car maker out there. After this, you saw a lot more scrutiny, more audits, and you even had other companies like Ford come out and correct their own mileage claims. Everyone was on notice. This quote from the head of the EPA at the time, Gina McCarthy, really gets to the heart of it. She said, "Businesses that play by the rules shouldn't have to compete with those breaking the law." And that's the key, right? It wasn't just about punishment. It was about making sure the whole system was fair and that we, the consumers, can actually trust the numbers we see on a window sticker.
So in the end, this entire story is a huge case study in trust. You know, you can put a price tag on fines and settlements. We saw the numbers, hundreds of millions of dollars. But the damage done to a brand when its core promise is broken, that's way harder to quantify. It really leaves you with a big question. What is the true cost of breaking a consumer's trust? And what does it really take to earn it back?